Peace. The contact information is solid, SOLID, mind, MIND, productions at gmail.com. And we are going to touch upon a couple things real quick. I'm seeing a lot of videos out about the assassination attempt of Trump being staged or a hoax. And the reason that people are telling you it was staged or is a hoax, the reason they all have given, at least the ones I watched, is they say that it guarantees him a win in the election, which is completely false. It doesn't guarantee anything. Of course, there's some things that are very odd about the assassination attempt. I do agree. I tend to lean more of the direction of an attempt was supposed to take place and Trump's people, or the people behind him, because he's just the face of something, and we need to keep that in mind, found out about what was supposed to occur, which there's some things you can't deny when you take a look at the stocks and some of the things that were set up aforetime as if something drastic was going to happen to him. So you can't dismiss that. But I think that the people behind him, the movement, found out that it was going to occur, and they were watching to see who was moving into place, and they allowed certain things to move forward, and then they staged the attempt. So why would they do that? It's the perfect trap. Now everyone that's involved can be detained, questioned, removed, etc., which we did see that. We've seen that with Cheadle of the FBI. What a last name, Cheadle. Doesn't it sound like cheat? And then you look at the name of the shooter, which is also another very strange name. But yes, indeed, I do believe that it was staged, but I do believe that an attempt was supposed to take place. And I believe that a lot of people fell into the trap of trying to pull something off and then seeing that they had basically fallen into a trap. There's no doubt there's some things that didn't make sense about it. And at the same time, there was a lot of footage that we weren't being shown. There's police officers around the country that do have some of the footage of the mangled body of the shooter, supposedly. Supposedly there was stuff on the dark web going around. And you notice how quickly they stopped talking about it. We just recently had a presidential debate to where you had a lady, Kamala Imhoff. I'm going to refer to her as Kamala Imhoff because that's her last name is Imhoff. It's not Harris, it's Imhoff. She has a Jewish husband and two adopted Jewish children. But we just saw a debate to where Donald Trump was debating against three people. And it turns out that Kamala Imhoff's sorority sister, Lindsay Davis, was one of the ladies on the panel, one of the commentators asking questions. So, and Trump got fact-checked 4 times, and Kamala Imhoff didn't get fact-checked any times. And all you're hearing about now is cats and dogs comment by Donald Trump instead of why didn't Kamala answer any questions, including the very first one. So it's just a very strange situation we're in today. I mean, the country really should be in an uproar, but I just guess that the mainstream news is doing such a good job in certain areas that it's keeping people asleep and divided. But I am going to proceed forward with the information here on why this assassination attempt was staged, and it was actually not just staged, but it was part of a process. And I'm going to play a video to you, 3 gentlemen that's discussing the ritual that occurred, everything that Trump did, the gestures, the holding up of the hand, the asking, where are my shoes, it's all going to make a little bit more sense to you. But on the notion of staging assassinations, that's not the first time that I had heard someone stage an assassination. I've heard it several times over the years, even for figures, smaller figures. They set assassination traps, and then, of course, they arrest everyone that's supposedly involved in the whole nine. There's even some notions that the JFK, what we saw with John F. Kennedy in the 1960s, that there's some oddities about that footage that was held for 2 months and then released. So the only footage we've ever saw of JFK assassination was from the Zapruder film, and that was held for 2 months before it was really released. During the time in the 60s, it was all word of mouth. And there were reports around about Kennedy being assassinated. They didn't really show any footage during the time. The footage came out much later. It's just crazy how history works, isn't it? But even during JFK, which some other things that are, I saw some curious things about that as well, is the people on the grassy knoll are standing still. Everybody is standing still, like they're in place for something to occur. Nobody is chasing after the motorcade, trying to get a picture or trying to, follow them or pursue along. Everyone is standing in place that he drives by. They're standing perfectly in place. That's kind of strange. And then, although we do see JFK getting his head blown off, but those of you who have a lot of military experience and have seen situations like that, there would have been an immense amount of blood all over the vehicle, inside the vehicle, and everywhere. And there really wasn't. And I believe another person was supposed to have gotten shot in the vehicle as well. So there's some strange things about even what we saw with JFK. And they held the footage for 2 months before it was released. There were also no major news networks recording there or covering that event. The only footage we have is from the Zapruder film. And there are other angles it was all collected by Zapruder. That's very strange. So let's proceed on with some more information on the rituals that occurred during the Trump assassination attempt, if you want to say staged. Like I say, it's very obvious something was supposed to happen, and I believe they just set a trap. And I do want to mention as well, I'm going to show you some images of Donald Trump, and they're just a few years apart here. I don't believe that this is just my opinion here. When I give my opinion, I will tell you. I don't believe that was the real Donald Trump that was in Butler, Pennsylvania, that they supposedly took shots at. I don't believe that was him. So here is the clip of the ritual. Listen closely.
Of spending a little time in the last couple of weeks with Rabbi Jonathan Kahn, Beth Israel in Wayne, New Jersey. He is probably, in my opinion, the most learned Old Testament scholar and Messianic rabbi in the world. And he broke two things that I think were really, really outstanding. The first, from Leviticus chapter 8, which I verified myself in Exodus chapter 29, when Aaron was anointed the high priest of Israel, they smeared blood on his right ear so that he would hear the word of God. Then they put blood on his right thumb so that he would do God's work. Then he laid prostrate on the ground, praying to God. Then they put blood on his right foot. Where are my shoes? Where are my shoes? Blood on his feet, so they'd walk in the path of God. And after that was all done, Aaron raised his right fist triumphantly because he was the high priest of Israel, the first high priest. I believe that the answer to Jonathan Cahn's question was Trump anointed? I believe he was. And I think that's important in spiritual warfare. And I know, Michael, neither one of us are big fans of Kamala. Rabbi Khan broke out the meaning of her name in Hindu, Kamala, the god of discord, destruction, transgenderism, and perverse sexual practices. Her middle name, Debbie, is a statement of, I am God. So she's the God, she's saying, her name says that she's the God of discord, destruction, transgenders, and perverse sexual activity. And we have, on the other hand, a man who was anointed by God, who if...
Now I'm going to stop it right there. You can find that video on BitChute. If you want to pull that up, you can pull up that. Or on Rumble. It is Military Expert Roundtable on Trump. White Hat Comms. Military Expert Roundtable on Trump. White Hat Comms. Now, of course, I don't agree that it's saying he's a man of God unless you're talking about the acronym of GOD standing for Government, Ordinance, and Departments. That is another meaning of God. And God we trust on the dollar refers to the system they trust in. It doesn't refer to the creator. It refers to government, ordinance, and departments. That is the system they're saying that they trust in. So take that how you will take it. But they just kind of confirmed that it was a ritual and it was kind of a stage thing, whether it was some type of initiation ritual or whatever it may have been. They did kind of confirm that it was a staged event, but not for the reasons everyone else is saying, to secure an election spot as the presidency. No, Trump's already winning. He's winning in a landslide. He was winning in a landslide before the debate, and he's even winning by more after the debate. There's a lot of people they're not effing with Kamala Harris. So despite what mainstream tells you, they're not really, she doesn't have the numbers at all. She's not even anywhere close. So that is just some information on the ritual that they may have done and why they would have staged this event. Like I say, most likely they jumped in front of an event to stop an assassination, even though this Trump here does not look like several of the others from pictures I showed you from 2024. But they have done a very good job with the stand-ins or whoever with the Trumps, because some of them are fatter, some of them are taller, some of them are shorter. It's funny. Same thing with Joe Biden, man. I mean, we didn't see 4 or 5 different Joe Bidens too. So, but just wanted to present that to you, give you some more information on this. I don't have a side in this thing. I don't participate in the election process because it's rigged. And they just showed you it was rigged by staging a fake debate. They're showing you that there's problems in the system. Kamala Harris's sorority sister was the commentator, Lindsay Davis. They didn't fact check anything she said. She didn't answer 3 or 4 questions, and they fact checked the shit out of Trump 4 times. And he was debating 3 people. They're showing you about the system. You need to wake up to the system. This isn't about Republican or Democrat, but we can talk about those words and those meanings later on. The word democracy does not appear in the Constitution. The word Democrat doesn't either. And this thing was set up by indigenous people, melanated people. It was not set up by a bunch of white men. That's another lie. That's a massive, massive deception trick they've played on the minds of both so-called white and black people. Those are just statuses. It's not really people. But you know what I mean. They're playing tricks on a lot of people for division. But just wanted to present that to you. And I'm going to move forward with the next part of this. We're going to move into the interracial agenda and why Kamala Harris is being promoted so hard. The interracial agenda is switched over the years, and now it is the urban-looking woman that's being promoted to be with the white man. So we're going to get into that one next, and you're going to see how that's kind of playing into the great divide. And hopefully some of our women will pull their heads out of their asses and begin to wake up and see things for what they really are and not for what they really want them to be, because humanity is the woman. So we've got to make sure we do all we can do to make sure they are aware of things in areas that they're not. So once again, contact information, solidmindproductions@gmail.com. Part 2 coming up. Peace.